Welcome to another summer, another epic summer vacation. My name is Tina. Follow along for more. Our first day in Busan, we woke up and had a little breakfast, and then we headed out and we went to a rice wine making class where we got to make our own rice wine. We went through all the steps to make it, and eventually we got to the part where we are draining the liquid. So that's what's happening here, and then we get to pour it into our own bottles. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring it home because there was just no way to transport it. After that, we went to Shabu Shabu for hot pot, which is my first experience, but it was amazing. And then we got an hour or so to just sort of frolic along the beach. This wasn't really an area where people swam, but I was able to get some cute pictures, so I'm excited about that. And then we went to Haeundae Beach and we walked around this park area and got some really nice pictures of the skyline and just the view from this particular area. Not everybody came on this portion. Some people chose to stay on the beach, which you can see in the distance. And then a few of us decided to walk all the way. We came specifically to see this lighthouse and also to see the APEC house, which you can see here. Which is the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperative, I think. And then we rode the Haeundae Beach train, and that was fun. Basically, it just goes along the shoreline, and you get to see the entire coast that this line spans. After we got off the beach train, we went to Haedong Yeonggungsa Temple, which is on the shoreline in Busan, and it was a very beautiful area. It didn't really hold any historical significance, at least that's what the tour director said, but she also said that it was a really beautiful area, and so that was why we stopped there. But I agree, I think it was beautiful. After that, we got a little bit of a snack before we headed back into town. I got pho for dinner, and that made me so happy to end the first day. On the second full day in Busan, we started with breakfast, and then we headed to Gamcheon Village, which is a colorful village that's up in the mountainside, and we had about an hour to walk around and explore, which wasn't nearly enough time because there was a lot to see, but we got some good pictures. We saw the view, which was absolutely beautiful, and then we had just enough time to walk just a little bit and then walk back and meet up with our group. Then we went to Gukje Market, and this is just a lot of street food and food vendors and little shops, and we ended up walking around looking at everything. I ended up buying Harry Potter in Korean just because, but there were outdoor places where you could actually sit and eat, and they would serve you outside, and so it was a very interesting experience. After that, we walked through the fish market to this restaurant where we had fresh fish served to us. This wasn't my most favorite part of the trip. I was a little creeped out by the fish, but the food was good. I am tired of non-traditional food though. After we stopped there, we had a lot of free time, so my roommate and I went to Koralani to get some coffee, and then so this was our first cafe stop, and then we went to a second cafe, and we're able to see the first cafe from the second cafe, but we also had really good view of the beach train, and we had some cute snacks. They weren't the yummiest. Some of them were good, some of them were, the tea was good though. And then here's the beach train. This is what we rode the day before. And so it had a really nice view from this cafe. After the cafe, we ended up walking to the train station, and on the way we ended up stopping at McDonald's, and we just tried out some new items that are different items that they offer. We navigated through the train station seamlessly. We figured out how to get back to our hotel, and we made it back without any issues. So this is day 3. I am sort of tired of the food at this point, but we are packing up, we are leaving, we are heading back to Seoul by train. I did get a drink before I left, and then we hopped on the bus so that we could be dropped off at the train station, and then we took the KTX from Busan to Seoul. It was a couple of hours, but I passed the time with updating my journal, and that was pretty much the end of this day. Okay, so the story about my jacket. I did leave my jacket in the hotel closet in Busan, and I did not realize that I had left my jacket until we pulled up to the hotel in Seoul. We ended up going to the same hotel that we were at the start of the trip. And I was just thinking to myself, me transferring my luggage seemed a little bit different. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks that it was because I did not have my jacket with me on the train. Because that was what was different. Because the entire plane ride and all the plane rides that I had taken, I had the jacket in my lap or hanging on the side of the chair, and I did not on the train ride back to Seoul. So I ended up getting a message to my tour director, and I let her know, and I asked if it was possible for them to just ship the jacket to my house at home, and I didn't mind paying whatever fees there were. And she said that she would talk to the hotel. She called the hotel. They said they did not ship overseas, that they could deliver in person to the hotel so they could have somebody bring it. They were going to require payment though for that, of course. And so in my head I'm thinking, what is the number at which I would not be okay paying for somebody to bring it to me? And ultimately, I guess what it boiled down to is the purchase price. If I'm going to pay more than I purchased the jacket for, it wouldn't be worth it to do. And so she told me that it was 70,000 won, which was I don't know, 50? Is it $50? $50, which is a fraction of what I paid for the jacket. And unfortunately, the jacket is no longer being carried by the company. So although I could find used coats that were similar, I wasn't going to be able to find that exact one. So I told her, yes, go ahead and buy it. Or go ahead and ask them to send it, and I will just have to pick it up from the hotel. And so I waited the next day. It wasn't going to be delivered until at the latest 7 p.m. So I ended up just going out. I left my luggage at the hotel. I went out and I explored Seoul on my own for a day. Everybody else from the trip had left at this point. Everybody that was leaving had left at this point. And so I went out and I explored. I got the entire day I used up, and then I went back to the hotel, and thankfully it was there. Thankfully it had been delivered by the time that I was ready to go back for it. So I retrieved my luggage, I got my coat, and I headed out to the train station to catch the train to the airport. And then I sat at the airport for a while waiting on my flight to Doha. But yeah, this jacket is presenting problems, and I feel like there are certain items that I always lose or forget when I'm traveling. Last summer, I bought a new pair of sunglasses, and I dropped them in Newark Airport right before my flight to Toronto. That was at the very beginning of the summer trip, okay? And I didn't have sunglasses the entire trip. This summer, I managed to keep my sunglasses until my flight to Vienna, and I lost the sunglasses somewhere along the way between Doha and Vienna. So that was a little annoying. The other thing is I have like a twisty turby for my hair when it's wet. And this is not the first time that I have accidentally left it at a hotel. I think this is the second summer in a row that I've done that. So that's unfortunate. We stayed at the Crown Harbor Hotel in Busan, and the hotel had a little cafe downstairs. We were on the 22nd floor. I think that's the highest floor that I've stayed on so far in the entire trip. But the room was really nice. It was hard to know which direction to go, but the door swung outward, which was different, and it felt absolutely spacious on the inside. You know, we had this little table to sit at, and it was a really nice area. There was a closet. I stored my jacket in here, which was a mistake because then I left the jacket in that closet. The bathroom was really nice, and this is the breakfast area. And yeah, overall, it was just a really nice place.